Arik Armstead. He's sliding inside this. We don't know if it's going to be Ebukam, D Ford. We're going to talk about D Ford after. But Arik Armstead, we think he's going to be back where he should be, rushing from the interior like he did in 2019 when he led the Niners in sacks. Do you think he'll lead the Niners in sacks again? Do you think he'll be back in around 3 or 4 sacks? What should we expect from Arik Armstead this year?
Well, I expect him to be definitely over 3 or 4. I think this is we're almost like I think this is almost another contract year for him in a lot of ways because I think that the Niners can get out of his contract after this year if they want to. I know there'll be some dead money, but I think this is another prove it year for him in a lot of ways. And so if he wants to get his money or get more money, he needs to go out there and show it again this year. Mm-hmm. And being able to possibly, if he can get inside more often, I'd say I would expect, if he doesn't come up with 7+ sacks and he's playing that inside role more often like he's supposed to be, I think it would be definitely a down year for him and one that people should look at as a negative.
I know that the stats said that he faced a lot of double teams in 2019, like the most in the league. And that's from Pro Football Focus, and they never really give context because they want you to give them money, and they still don't give you context. But I think what was going on a lot from watching film, we watched film a lot together, on third down in particular, you're using weird fronts. It's not like you're using a 4-3 or a 3-4. You got people all over the place. It looks like gumballs and stuff, and you're trying to conceal where the pass rush is coming from. What Saleh did a lot was put Buckner in the A gap. And the function of doing that was Buckner's so dominant, that pretty much 100 times out of 100, the center's going to slide to his side. They're not going to get cute and try to bring a guard over. It's Buckner. So if you can dictate where the offensive line will slide, then you can really get nasty with your blitz packages because you can sort of predict how the whole dominoes are going to fall, right?
Yes.
So by doing that with Buckner, I think he got Armstead some pretty good one-on-ones on the backside of the play. And it helped. I don't know that Kinlaw has the same effect on offensive blocking schemes. So I think there may be more focus on Eric, is what I'm trying to say. There may be more focus on Arik Armstead this season than there was in 2019. So maybe 6 sacks is a more reasonable expectation than 9 or 10.
Yeah. I think you're right on that. I remember you did a really good breakdown after, I think it was the Green Bay game, of showing some of what you're just talking about, where he was moving guys around because it freed up the slot corner to make it in there and make the blitz, the one I think where they caused the fumble early in the game. Yeah. But anyway, I see what you're saying, and that's an important point too, where not having a guy that has the name of Buckner, kind of hurts you a little bit unless these other guys can step up and really make the plays. You're not, because the way that they're kind of construed put together, constructed right now is Bosa's going to get double teamed, and then all these other guys are, they're going to double team one other guy, but and it's probably going to be Armstead because Kinlaw hasn't shown that he can do it yet. Ebukam hasn't shown that he can be a consistent pass rusher yet. He's shown that he's good, but he's not a guy that you're really concerned with maybe throwing the running back on his side because he can't run around the edge. So, I can see where that could be an issue. I still go back to it with Armstead. You're paying this guy $20 million this year, I think it is. And if you're paying him $20 million and he's only able to generate 6 sacks, I think that's
to be fair, Arik Armstead's his cap hit doesn't go up big time until next year.
That's what. Yes.
It's about like 12 right now, which is reasonable for him. I think it's reasonable. Okay. Let me get it. Yeah, it's 12.4. It goes up to 20 next year, which is next year is 21.7. After that is 23.2. Whew, that's boy. The cap is going to have to go up big time for that to be worth it. That's what they're counting on when they gave him that contract. That the cap will be going through the roof because of the TV deal. Well, we'll see. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. I'm a year ahead of myself on that because you're right because he's only in year 2 of that deal. So that's correct.
He's decent right now. Really, the only person that's super overpaid right now in the Niners is D Ford, who we're going to talk about, and Jimmy. Everyone else is pretty good this year. It's going to get weird the next couple of years because a lot of deals were backloaded. So maybe the Niners can renegotiate some of them. You can always do things like that. You get creative.
Yeah, that's where when you get yourself into trouble because like we talked a lot, during the season last year about them needing to move on from Garoppolo to sign all these guys, and then next thing you know, they've re-signed everybody anyway. Yeah. But a lot of that is the cap played into their favor, where they got guys back on these really cheap deals that are really should be worth more than they're getting.
I want to say one more thing. The thing about Buckner and his name, I think that was a big thing about it. It wasn't that Buckner. I mean, he's great, but if you put him in the A gap, the center's going to freak out. It's DeForest Buckner. I know who that is. I'm sliding that way. And the whole thing is when you're trying to design an overload blitz on third down, right? You're trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to bring 4 rushers from this side. And they're only going to have 3. They're only going to have 3 blockers. I guarantee it. Well, you can only say that if you know that Buckner's going to force the slide one way. Then you can say, I'm pretty freaking sure I'm going to overload him with an extra rusher. If you have some guy who's not Buckner there, I mean, you can't say for certain that where that center is going to slide, and all of a sudden your overload blitz may just not work. So that's why that's the Buckner effect, and why Bosa will have his own effect. It's not exactly the same because the center's not involved with blocking Bosa.
Yep. Yeah, and it's the same. And it's the same thing with D Ford and Ebicom, is that people knew that D Ford was a problem. No, I don't know if anybody's really concerned with Samson Ebicam at this point in his.
He's gonna have to prove it.
The year.